Alright, well, with a pretty slow movie season upon us until the Avengers, figured I'd talk about some of these Oscar movies, so I figured I'd start with this one. Birdman, or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance, but you can just call it Birdman for short, like every other normal human being on the face of this earth. In Birdman, Michael Keaton plays an actor named Regan Thompson, and Regan Thompson is well known for his portrayal of the iconic comic book superhero Birdman and its subsequent sequels, the last one that came out in 1992, which ironically is the last time Michael Keaton played Batman in Batman Returns. And nobody really recognizes him by his actor name, Regan Thompson. Everybody just knows him as Birdman, so in order to get more well-renowned, well-respected, he's going to put on a play, he's going to adapt a Raymond Carver story into a play, and he's going to hire Edward Norton to star in the play. He's trying to put on this play while battling tough critics, bad previews, trying to reconnect with his family, trying to work with the difficult star that Edward Norton's character is in this movie, and that is Birdman for you. Now, Birdman, it's a really good movie. It's unique, and here's the reason why it's unique. Before I get into all the acting and the characters and the whole, technical stuff of the movie, this is kind of a technical thing, but here's what makes this movie unique. This movie is 119 minutes. It is made to look like one continuous shot. This takes place over a span of days, but the whole movie it looks like one continuous shot, as if it was filmed in one take. I've never seen that before, and it worked well within the movie, because there are characters that aren't in the frame that come into the frame because the camera just pans like this. It'll be say if I'm filming myself right now, and then somebody's gonna come out of the door behind me, the camera will just kind of pan behind me and just come to this door, and then it will focus on that character, and then as it goes to another character, the camera will move and go to that character. There's no visible cuts. I mean, there are cuts in the movie, yeah, there's transitions, but barely any. The only ones I saw were at the end. So yeah, that was unique. And another thing I really liked, I'm a big pop culture guy, of course, I'm a big movie fanatic. Pop culture played a lot of relevance into this movie. One of the actors who was hired before Edward Norton goes down for the count in the beginning of the movie, and you just hear Michael Keaton's character naming off all these actors. He's like, hey, what about Woody Harrelson? And Zach Galifianakis is like, no, he's doing the next Hunger Games. He's like, what about that Jeremy Renner guy? It's like, I liked him in The Town. And he's like, no, he's an Avenger. He's like, damn it, they all have capes nowadays. And then him and Edward Norton are kind of throwing down in the middle of the movie, and Edward Norton just takes his shoe and he's like, what, are you gonna replace me with fucking Ryan Gosling or some shit? And I'm watching this and I'm just like, this movie is already cool. It's already wicked good. I just love how actors and pop culture exists in this world, in this movie. And then it's just something else in this movie. There is something else in this movie that makes you question if it's real or if the role of Birdman has consumed him to make you believe it's real, to make him believe it's real, and then you realize that it's really not real, it's just Birdman inside his head. But he doesn't know that because he thinks he's Birdman, and whatever's happening is really inside his head, but he doesn't know that because, he's Birdman. He's just doing all this random shit, and you're like, is this real? I feel like something like that in a movie like this should be left open to your own interpretation, and I really think it is, and the movie did that really well. To me, it was Birdman inside his head. I didn't take it as real, but other people might say, oh, that is real. That is not Birdman inside. He can really do shit like that. Alright, now for the acting and the characters. All the acting in this movie this movie is well casted. It's very phenomenal, and the characters, there's not one character I didn't like. Michael Keaton does a really good job in this movie. He brings it in this movie. You really feel bad for Regan Thompson as a character. You're just like, dude, I feel you. That role consumed you. Just like how the role of the Joker consumed Heath Ledger and he killed himself, pretty much. Zach Galifianakis is really good. It was nice to see him kind of get away from a comedic role for once, and his character was pretty cool. He was I think he was Regan's agent or Regan's best friend. He's helping him put on the play. He was interesting to watch. Naomi Watts was really good. She did a good job with her character. She was just kind of playing herself. But the real scene stealer in this movie is Edward Norton. Dude, Ed, what happened to Edward Norton before this movie? This is the movie he was destined to make 10 years ago. This is truly Edward Norton's comeback. It's oh, he made Primal Fear, got nominated for Best Supporting Actor, then he made American History X, got nominated for Best Actor, then made Fight Club, which he should have got nominated for Best Actor. Don't know why that didn't happen. And he fell off the grid until The Incredible Hulk, and then he fell off the grid again, and now he's back with Birdman. I'm happy to see that this guy got nominated for an Oscar. He's back. This truly, I watched this movie, I was like, well, he got nominated for an Oscar. Let's see if it really is his comeback. It is definitely Edward Norton's comeback, especially with his earlier roles that defined him as like a really good actor, like American History X and Fight Club and Primal Fear. You're just like, where is that Edward Norton guy? Oh, here he is. He's popped up 20 years later in Birdman. So yes, those of you looking for a powerhouse performance from Edward Norton, this is it. This is officially Edward Norton's comeback. I hate to harp on Edward Norton for quite a while here, but it's like Edward Norton's character is actually interesting. He's a dick, but you like him because it's like, yeah, you see where he's coming from. Edward Norton's character in this movie is pretty much a parody of Edward Norton. He's abrasive, he's difficult to work with, he wants to do stuff his own way. There's like one scene where they're doing a preview for the play. This is a spoiler alert, kinda. They're doing a preview for the play, and he's just like, hey man, you replaced my gin with water. He's like, is everything on the stage fake? And he just has a Hulk out. He just rages out. He just throws shit. He's just like, and you're just watching this. You're like, this character is just Edward Norton and everything else he's in. But Edward Norton's doing a good job playing this character. Because he's got so many Hulk outrages. Like, he had all these Hulk outrages in American History X. He had a couple in Fight Club. It's like, yeah, Edward Norton is playing himself in this movie. Who cares though? The character, really good. And this movie has a good message. It's pretty much just like, if you're down and out and you really don't feel like anything's going your way, try to make something good. Try and do something good to prevent you from going down a dark path and ultimately trying to kill yourself. And the movie conveyed the message well. It was very good at doing that. In the end, Birdman, one of the best movies of 2014. If I had seen this in 2014 instead of 2015, this would have been on my top 10 for best movies of 2014 list. It probably would have been number 1. Because Birdman was the most unique movie to come out of Hollywood in a while. It had really good acting. It had a lot of pop culture references that everybody can relate to. It has characters that people like. It has actors that people like. Characters that you care about, that you sympathize for. The movie's got a message to tell, and it tells that message very effectively, very well done with that message. Birdman won the Best Picture Oscar for Best Picture of 2014, and it rightfully so, because it was the best movie of 2014, and that means Birdman is excelente. So, have you seen Birdman? If you have, great. If you haven't, why not? Because it's a very good movie. If you have seen Birdman, I want some feedback, so drop me a comment in the comment section below. And for more news and reviews on movies, movie trailers, video games, and TV shows, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. If you're on YouTube, hit the big red subscribe button, and welcome to my world.